Where is the predicted recession? I remember, and I suspect most of you do, last fall when all we read about was the looming recession. Articles like 80 of CEOs see a recession in 2023 making up that title. My mom asked me where she should put her money given the upcoming recession, and I saw a number of similar posts on various Reddit subs. And yet, as of today the SP is up 16.21 YTD, over 20 from the low last fall, and we are officially in a bull market. Obviously the recession that seemed so obvious never appeared. Last fall turns out to have been one of the great buying opportunities related. See the case for a 2023 US recession is crumbling. My point? That you should have listened to me? No. I didn't make any predictions. But my point is, no one knows at 62 and having been investing all my adult life, I've seen so many cases where these expert prognosticators are wrong. Generally their whole prediction is to take the current situation and project that are for the next 12-18 months. Honestly, they are wrong so often that now I kinda have the opposite reaction. They predict a bright future and I get worried. They predict a recession and I'm hopeful. This is why I gave up trying to time the market years ago. X200B. Edit added links. When everyone agrees on what the markets will do next, you can be pretty sure they're wrong. Of course that still doesn't tell you what markets will do, it just reduces the likely possibilities. Meanwhile, for your mom, far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections, or trying to anticipate corrections, than has been lost in the corrections themselves. Peter Lynch. I can't stress this enough. You can wait 1, 2, 5 years for the recession and in the meantime miss out on huge gains. And then after the fact, the analysts will tell you that this was a once-in-a-generation scenario which could not have been predicted. Buy and hold. Check your portfolio once a year. The stock market is not the economy. We can be in a recession and the stock market can go up. It's scheduled to happen about 7-10 days after I invest my bonus. Most people on this sub say over and over again not to time the market. It will probably come when everyone believes there won't be one. The recession will always be 12-18 months from now. Honestly, they are wrong so often that now I kinda have the opposite reaction. They predict a bright future and I get worried. They predict a recession and I'm hopeful. So, current state worried, smiley face. It'll happen any time now. Source: trust me bro. Been sitting around for months looking to jump into SPY. When it was at 395 I had my buy order at 380, then it went to 410, I reset to 398, then it went to 420, I reset again at 413, then it went to 430. Couldn't stand it any longer, bought in at 430. Now looking to add, not sure what to think about that big jump yesterday. Economists have predicted 17 of the last 4 recessions. What did I do last year? Buy. What am I doing this year? Buying. I'm more than 30 years from retirement, and I agree with your whole philosophy. I put a portion of every paycheck into my investments, and I'm doing great. Time in the market beats timing the market. Don't listen to those talking heads on CNBC. Most of them with their predictions, except Tom Lee, be wrong on every front. There's a reason why Kramer don't have those talking heads on his show. The recession will appear when you don't expect it. Likely 2 years down the road when everything seems peachy, one day the rug will get pulled out with no warning. Stop believing stuff. All news is about creating fear and showing blood to sell advertising. Now also with breaking news. Never time the market. I predict it will be 7:30 a.m. in the future. It's hiding in Germany. The MSM pushes fake financial news in order to get low impulse control investors to panic and sell low so that the 0.01 can buy more at a discounted price. It's one of their many mechanisms to transfer wealth to the 0.01. Be a contrarian. Ignore everything the MSM says, and simply buy and hold. Don't try to time the market. I don't know about any of the predicted recessions, but I only know what I'm doing. I'm saving my money. I'm spending less on unneeded things given how much prices have increased and the value I get in return. Based on what I'm doing, I'm thinking others are doing the same, and I believe there will be a recession. Companies aren't providing good value. 2023 is only halfway over. Surprise, the folks pushing this narrative have had their own ulterior motives the whole time. Who'd have thought? This is exactly why we tell people to ignore market predictions. They are absolute trash, every time. Market explanation in the media is worse than a joke. It's an ongoing train wreck that's been continuously rolling over the inexperienced and trusting since J.M. Keynes was in diapers. It's obviously useless, and yet we keep doing it, decade after decade. Careful what you ask for. Commercial real estate could bring it all down. Again. I looked at the SPDR Select Funds ETFs recently. My sample period was a week, max, so take with a grain of salt, but 10 of them were within the 0.5 gain to 3 loss range. Meanwhile the technology one was up by 5 or 6, propping up the whole SP 500. I have a sinking suspicion that the recession is currently happening. We just can't see it because of the AI bubble. Technically we have already entered one. Most recessions aren't known until they are over. Most seem to agree we have been in one, or will be though. Like everything else anymore being spun that we aren't for political purposes, I imagine. A recession can still happen. That doesn't not mean you should time the market. If everybody and their mom is talking about a looming recession, that's a sure sign that the recession has ended. What are you looking for as verification we're in a recession? But dates them after the fact. Negative GDI year over year has 100 predictive power of recession going back 75 years. It's currently negative. Time in the market's timing the market. Don't jinx it. What happened? We have almost full employment. I must have missed that it's 2024 already. Just need a cryptic Burry tweet and then for him to delete his account. That's when the stars have aligned. Just think it's 2000, you inherit a large sum of money from a deceased relative. You don't want to time the market, so you dump it all in. The bubble pops, and 2008 comes. Finally you can start seeing progress. No pit dumps again. 15 years later you finally make $1 but you're almost dead lol. AI cancelled it. The feared recession was far overhyped. Perhaps when student loan payments start we will see some slowdown due to people having to spend money again on loans they've not paid for in 3 years. The Black Swan events happened, the bank failures, the Fed just propped everything back up with the emergency lending facility and saved the markets. That would have 100 been the trigger to pause cut, but there would have been severe deflationary risks as a result. The facility though has pretty much become backdoor liquidity for the market. Look at a graph of the market. It doesn't take a pro to realize we're in for one hell of downward correction after all this time. It means, anyone who jumps in now is taking a giant risk. Anyone who's already in, and can't handle too much of a loss without going sleepless, should exit. Honestly, I don't understand the roots of what looks like either ignorance or naive bullishness. Change my mind. AI. Waiting to invest is costing you money. Just spread your risk by investing in different things over a longer time. I read so many things of people berating others for being dumb bulls and obviously SPY going to 300 etc. Well, all those people got squeezed out, now it looks like it's going back to all-time highs. Glad I kept buying. What defines a recession? Just because the stock market isn't tanking doesn't mean we're not in a recession. Stock market gains ain't worth shit if your dollar ain't worth anything. Markets are forward-looking. Don't pay attention to the arrival of the recession. Last year was pricing in a recession. Doesn't matter when it comes from an investment standpoint.